front. He won in Silverstone. He won in Austria, picking up his third win and further cementing his championship lead. Peter Giordano in the Aston Martin, your race winner here in Russia. Your race winner for the Singapore Grand Prix, Jack Pemberton, comes across the line. Your championship winner, back-to-back, is going to be Peter Giordano in the other Aston Martin. It's an Aston Martin 1-2.
Lee Hall, P19 to P5. My driver of the day, Travis Robinson, and Jack Fletcher, the Red Bulls, P6, P7. Travis Robinson is your driver's champion. Victor Diaz in P9.
Taking change tires, and Hudson Poole, the young man from Southern California, brings it across for a Red Bull win once again. So it is Hudson Poole.
Get going, so I don't think the math is necessary there. Red Bull came in with a 1-point lead. They get a P1 and a P4 to seal the deal in constructors. Hudson Poole with the win. He seals the deal in the World Drivers' Championships as well.
P5 is on Hudson Poole. Cody Lawrence is on the chicane. Hudson Poole is going to do the overtake. Last minute overtake heroics on Magnussen Cube. Is he going to do it also on Maxime Bowler for P4? He's going to make it happen. Cody Lawrence is your race winner in Canadian Grand Prix. Hudson Poole, he's got the last two positions out of Maxime Bowler and Magnussen Cube. He's got P. This moment, it's going to be Cody Lawrence coming home in P2 in an exciting race, and that is the Division 1 World Championship for Cody Lawrence in the Mercedes chicane. This is going to be a photo finish for this race, ladies and gents. Look at this. John Swindell's got the outside coming out of the Ville chicane into the final corner. Who's going to be coming out on top? It's going to be Hudson Poole for the win. Here, Ryan Newton. It is not going to be P2. It looks like it is. And Ryan Newton crowns this with an absolutely bomber of a performance. He is now officially World Champion, Division 1 ZRL, Mr. Newton. Have yourself a day.
Through goes Hamilton! Unbelievable!
Get down with it right now, as we are in short qualifying. A little bit of an overlay update once again. 19 drivers currently, so if you're seeing the name of Zhou Guangyu there, P20, that name will disappear for the race. And obviously a Red Bull driver without the, that looks like it's
Like, that's Quentin K. So let me go make a quick update on that real quick. There you go. And there it is. So Quentin K there, and I think we should be good on the names. I think I did my homework all right. Sure, qualifying session, and let's go down right away while we're at it with standings. There's been a lot of changes here. I've been absent over the last two stream sessions here in Division 1. I missed out in so I missed out in Las Vegas, and then the random race was raced in Jeddah. Very intense race there too. So we have Marcel Paps, who's taken the lead. Marcel is having quite a season himself in the Ferrari. Started off rather atrociously in the Japanese Grand Prix, finding himself P1 now with 120 points. It is very close for the top 4 drivers. 120 points, only 8 points separating him and P2 Cam Bourne, who didn't have such a great race, such a great time in Jeddah, will be looking for a redemption here in Australia. Ryan Newton, our championship, our division championship last season, well, now he's looking. Well, first of all, he's gonna do for he's start from P19. He's got a qualifying ban, so maybe not the best of situations for him, but he is ready. Only 1 point separate him and Cam Bourne for P2, 9 for the first place, and Quentin K. That win in Jeddah definitely puts him right back in there in the contender discussion. Was doing all right, let's say, in this season so far, but really needed to get a win or a strong podium finish there to get himself up in the points, and he's been doing so as well. Freddie Rosell was so close to a win in Jeddah, and well, missed out just when he ended up here at P2. However, that brings up himself in P5, which is a great result for Williams. It's not been so hot for Chad Swindell, the new Williams driver in Division 1, who once was very, very quick in Division 1 a few seasons back. Great season so far for Aston Martin. This looks a lot more like the Aston Martins of Maxime Beaulieu and the Aaron Altmaier days. Well, Max and Jordan Kwan now are both sitting P6, P7, 2 points separating both of them. So a lot of teamwork going on with these two guys, but they're doing great as well. And further down the grid, well, Major Castman, who is a late newcomer in the season, in P8, Magnussen, Q Cup Evans, Nathan Doan, Simon Costin. A little bit disappointing season for him. However, he's definitely getting the fastest lap in almost every single one of the races, except Canada, our second round. And further down, you see the rest of the pack. It's still very close. Anybody could have a very strong performance and suddenly climb a few positions there in the Drivers' Championship with 4 races to go. 5 races, actually, including the one tonight, I should say. So we still have a lot of time for some exciting racing, and things can change quickly in the Drivers' Championship. For the constructors, well, it's Ferrari leading. Nathan Doan and Marcel Paps doing a great work, obviously. The Red Bulls are not far behind. 7 points separating Ferrari and Red Bull in P1, P2. Mercedes and Alpine. I'll even throw Aston Martin hot in the pack. That whole top 5 could shuffle their order race after race. There's not a lot of points separating these guys, so they could really do a lot of damage. The Alfa Romeos are going to try their best to be able to climb back up. Their team that finished first in the combined constructors last season, and well, they need to do a little bit better if they want to hold on to that spot. Williams, AlphaTauri, McLaren, who are starting to do a little bit better in the Haas. Well, McLaren and Haas has been a very, very difficult season for them. Nicholas Arrow having not finished a single race this season, missing out 2 on races as well. Michael Bobla in the Haas. Finding it a little bit difficult 3 races in a row where he does not start. And I'm wondering if he's on. He is there. He should be there tonight as well, I believe. And so that is just a recap on the standings. That's not what I want. That's not what I want. This is what I want. There you go. Let's keep an eye on Quinn and K. I believe Quinn and K is starting his second lap, and meanwhile, Chad Swindell crossed the line, and he's got himself temporary pole there, 12 thousandths ahead of Quinn K. Let's see if Quinn can improve on his outlap. We got pole at a 1:16.4. Already pretty rapid time there from the Williams driver. Quinn K and Michael Bubla not too far, and Nicholas Arrow as well. So that's a very unusual top four there. And Bubla is going to improve on his time at a 1:16.3. Solid time for the Haas drivers. So these are drivers that are able to get strong times. I believe, and Cam Bourne disconnected earlier. I don't think he's got any qualifying penalties. I'm gonna have to go check if he does. All right, there you go. And Quinn K is about to cross the line. I think he's going to be improving. Will that be enough for P1? And there it is, 1:16.2. So less than a tenth separate Quinn K from Michael Bubla. He's on his in-lap currently. As is Swindell, Arrow, and P4's Paps. Oh, look at this. The Ferraris look like they were giving themselves a tow. Let's get on board with the Doan, the other Ferrari driver. Looks like there's a lot of traffic there through the middle of Sector 2. And will Doan be able to improve? His third sector is not the greatest. Will that help him improve with that time there? Oh, he does improve, and he puts himself up in P8. What am I noticing? Did Freddie Rizzo crash out? What happened with Freddie? He's grayed out on the grid there. Yeah, looks like Freddie Rizzo. I probably missed that one out. He's crashed out, and he's lost it. So that's done for Freddie Rizzo, who's qualified 9th so far. We have Newton with the quali ban. Who else didn't set a time yet? Got a temporary yellow flag there for obviously slow drivers going into the pits. Well, I think that's pretty much it. Cam Bourne, I don't think has set a time either. Let me go check if what's happened with him. So we got two drivers who've not set a time. Labib in the Haas for Trivedi. Yeah, it looks like there's been some issues there. Connection issues with Cam Bourne with the lobby there, unfortunately. So, Cam Bourne is lucky for redemption here in Australia. Well, he's going to have to do it from the back of the grid. It looks like it. Well, everybody's just in the pits, except maybe for this man. I think he's going into... He's on the end lap. Yeah, he's going pretty slowly. Oh no, he's going to start his fast lap right now, actually. So with 3 minutes to go, another French-Canadian from the LDL League. Looks like this is maybe his second lap there. He's doing it on worn tires. This is Yann Breton in the Alpine, replacing. Well, let's see where he could fare. He's doing it on worn tires. I would have gone into the pits under those circumstances. He definitely had the time to do so. A little too late now. Will he be improving on his time? Currently sitting P15. Not improving in his first sector either. and seemingly has given up on his time there. So that'll be it. That's done for the qualifying of Jan Breton. P15 is the best he'll be able to do. So Mechanic and Labib have opportunities to go out and do better. Well, the next driver to begin his fast lap came out a little early, wanted to make sure to have the clear track in front of him, is Duncan Mechanic. And not too far behind him in the Alfa Romeo, it is Ahmed Abdullahi, who's closing the gap a little bit there. So hopefully these two cars won't end up in a pinch. Let's go on board here at the end of his outlap with Duncan Mechanic. Driver who in the initial season of ZRL had actually won the championship, was consistently a top 5 driver. And I'm not gonna say that he's fallen off the grid necessarily. It's just other people that joined just got so fast. But if there's one guy that understands strategies, that could make great calls, he's a great engineer as well, Duncan Mechanic is definitely one of the boys. Strong first corner for him. Down to turn 3. Improving in his first sector. We will find out in just a second. Well, he is improving. He's just about 0.6 off of Quentin K. 0.6. If he keeps up with that pace, that might put him in the middle of the pack. Turns 11 and 12 here become very important, where he could get a lot of outspeed. And oh, has he invalidated? It seems like he's still going. So all 4 tires came off, but maybe he just let off the throttle enough to be able to keep on going. Unless he's going to go into the pits here. We're going to find out in just a sec. He's going to keep on going. And he has been improving still in the second sector. Duncan Mechanic across the line. Yeah, and that would be 117.7. And, but yeah, I think he did invalidate, so that keeps him there. Ahmed Abdullahi across the line. Well, he just got himself P7. Nathan Dones currently sitting in P9. He's about to cross the line. 116.9. Well, there it is. That's a 116.7 for him. He's P4. Strong timing for him. And then it's Marcel Paps behind, who's going to take P4 from his teammates. So P4, P5. No, it's Nicholas Arrow. And everybody's going across the line now. There's Magnus Cube, who's going to take P7 as well. Labib's back into the pits. He is done for this qualifying. Cal Blevins just crossed the lines in P7, relegates Cube to P8. Simon Costin's about to get across in P11, and he does so. Swindell still got the lead, and so he gets the fastest lap. Will Quentin K be able to do better? Across the line he goes, and it is pole position. Quentin K with a 116.1. Barely any time separates him and Swindell. It is 22 thousandths between Quentin K and Chad Swindell. Michael Bubba, absent for the last 3 races, comes out of nowhere. Look at that, top 3 for qualifying. It's a 10.5, a little bit over a 10.5 from Quentin K there. Marcel Paps, Nicholas Arrow, Nathan Doan as well. And for some reason, Jan gets Breton gets disqualified, so I think his lap time gets eliminated for being parked in the wrong area. That's what it's going to be for your qualifying session. Yeah, so look at this. So although he's got a qualifying ban, Ryan Newton is going to be starting P17 instead of P19. Both Alpines are in the back. One driver was disqualified for being parked in a dangerous location. I didn't catch eyes on that. And Cam Bourne with connection issues wasn't able to regain control of his car. His driver retired for him. Freddie didn't crash out, I'm told, but I think he may have had another issue himself because here he is sitting in P13. Strong performance again for the Ferraris. The difference is night and day for Nathan Doan. His performance from last season to this season, he's greatly improved. And yeah, we're looking at clear weather for the race so far. Most definitely. And Camborne just joined again, so I'm hoping he has a chance to take control of his car. Oh, Fred did crash out. Haha. We gotta learn how to read. Alright. Drivers are getting set up. Speaking of setup, well, tires is going to be really interesting to see what strategy the guys choose. It could be anything from hard to soft or soft to hard. The mediums could come and play too. However, we expect safety cars here in Australia. It's a fast-paced race. And because a lot of corners are rather high speed, especially in the second sector, a small mistake from a car in front could cause a little bit of chaos. We saw that in Division 2 last night, where in the mid-pack, one driver had a little bit of a moment, and suddenly 2-3 cars got caught up into him on the back, and that caused a virtual safety car. First corner, obviously, you do not go. It's difficult to go too wide in this corner, in the first corner, even less 3 wide. And obviously, Australia in the past, this season wasn't so bad, but we all remember Australia 2023, where it was absolute chaos and there was red flags. And speaking of red flags, we got the red lights up, 5 lights away. And away we go. The Australian Grand Prix is underway. It's a great start. Well, Chad Swindell is going to overtake Quinn and Kay right off the bat there. And look at them two absolutely running away with it. Both of them all at once, really. And in the back, Michael Bubba is a little bit holding it up. He's making a bit of the quirk on the bottle there. And a lot of mixed strategies there for the tires and the drivers there. It's Swindell, Codd, Bubba, Nathan Doan, who's gained a position. It's Marcel Paps, who's actually completely dropped it, as has Freddie Rozelle, P18, P19 in the back. There's some incident that happened there. We're battling. Are we going to go too wide into turns 11 and 12 there? That was quite close. Most definitely. Kyle Blevins on the soft tires. He's going to be trying to do his best as he can to allow himself to get as many positions as possible early into this stint. There's a battle ahead, two side by side. Nicholas Arrow, Maxime Beaulieu. Lots of battles, a lot of side-by-sides in the mid-pack, however. No major incidents, maybe aside for Freddie Rozelle and Marcel Paps. I think both drivers are in the pits. Yes, they are. So Paps and Rozelle into the pits. It's going to be a tough luck for their race right off the bat. And so here it is. We can see the strategies being played out currently as side-by-side. It's Blevins and Cube. Who's going to make it out of there? Cal Blevins already 3-second time penalty. And actually a 6 seconds. He got it twice. So I believe he's just got cut for maybe a corner cutting. We'll see. We'll see if we could have something handled with the stewards about that. It looked like it was multiple warnings at one corner. He climbed up to 6 seconds penalty already. All that while battling Cube, who's currently P8. Bourne just overtook Abdullahi for P10. So he started P18, and there he goes. He's P10 already, and he's on the soft tires. He's trying to take advantage of that. So we got a good mix of strategies. Oh, Cal Blevins goes around and gets absolutely smacked, I think, by Abdullahi. And there's multiple drivers in the back who get caught up in that incident, including Simon Carlson, who has damage on his wing. He's going to have to pit. Oh, what happened there? Abdullahi into the pits. Is that both? Oh, yes, it is. That is both Mercedes getting caught up in that incident. Both of them with damage. Not what you want to see here. Look at how long it's going to be for both drivers. We could tell right away the damage on Newton, and we could see it as well a little bit on Simon Clausen there. Both wings were orange already. And that was a rough one for sure for the Mercedes. So things have gone really bad for them. Meanwhile, up front, while Chad Slindell overtakes Quinton K again with the DRS overtaking there on the Lake DRS. This is the second DRS sector from the start line. And into turn 13, 14. So I think we could expect that both of these top two drivers, well, they're just dragging it away. Look at how long it took for Nathan Doan to show up behind them. So they're just really going to charge their battery on each other, just overtaking each other through DRS and allow themselves to run away from the pack. That leaves Nathan Doan a little bit vulnerable to Michael Bubla in P4, and Jordan Kwan, who with the incidents that happened earlier, finds himself in P5. It's a great solid start for him. He's on the medium tires compared to the hards and mediums as well for Nathan Doan, and Michael Bubla is the one on hards. And what's happened with Arrow? Oh, Nicholas Arrow triggers a virtual safety car. Nicholas Arrow, who had qualified, I believe, in third, is now wingless. No more front wing for him in the McLaren. Virtual safety car. Maybe that's the small thing that might redeem him from being able to just... Nobody can overtake him so far, so he's going to be able to maybe make it to the pits. It is going to be a difficult race. And he just punts his teammate, and it causes a chain reaction with... I think that is Mechanic right behind him. Hopefully Mechanic doesn't get a penalty for that. Seems like everything's good for now. It's very difficult to drive that. And yeah, the virtual safety car is going to allow him to go all the way into the pits. And green light we go with DRS enabled, so at least that bought him some time there. And Quinton K's got a little bit of a gap to close there from to Sweeney G. Nathan Doan defending from Michael Bubla there as much as he can. And we have Breton there with another 3-second time penalty, as well as Freddie Rizal. So two drivers in the same corner, essentially getting that kind of penalty there. Is Michael Bubla going to go on the inside here on Nathan Doan side by side? He's got the inside line, and Nathan Doan kind of closes the door on him, but he's going to be very conservative there. Maybe he's trying to play a little bit of the mental game or be patient for the next straight line. Michael Bubla could put himself in a podium position in P3 if he can get a proper exit here. We're on board with him. Behind him, Jordan Kwan's kind of following it, but he's going to lift. This is not a good overtaking opportunity here. And I suspect he's recharging his battery as much as possible, or is he going for it here? No, he doesn't. He's just really just teasing Nathan Doan there for now. So he's got himself, maybe just put himself in a groove there. And same thing for Nathan, Jordan Kwan. We'll see if Kwan decides to maybe go for an overtaking move in the DRS zone at the lake. The third DRS zone. Or second, I should say. No moves being made. Nathan Doan still in P3 so far. So we're being a bit conservative for now. One person that is not being conservative up front or in the middle of the pack, it's Cam Bourne. My goodness, Cam Bourne is P6, guys. He started P18. Obviously, there's multiple drivers that got damage on their cars and were involved in incidents. But that is a lot of overtaking in a very little bit of time for Cam Bourne. And that is why this guy is second in the championship. Side-by-side action, Michael Bubla, he's going to go into the dive on the inside there on Nathan Doan, and he makes it work there in turns 3. Nathan Doan didn't have much to defend himself with at this point, but he's going to have the chance to use some battery there, maybe for another overtake. There it is, Nathan Doan back into P3 he goes. And within all of this, Jordan Kwan hasn't been able to take any advantage of this situation. Who's catching up to that pack, that three-way battle you have there for P3? Well, Cam Bourne is making his way up to that pack. Like, his soft tires definitely have a lot of grip, and we're on lap 7. They could probably go to lap 12, maybe 14 if you really want to push it. And he's dragging with him Magnussen Cube and Maxime Beaulieu as well. So we have two trios, 2 battles for with 3 drivers, and it might just change into one huge battle for P3, basically 6 drivers for P3 eventually, if it keeps on going. Let's go further back behind. Castleman defending from Duncan McCamick. He's in the McLaren here. McCamick and Breton, and there's a yellow flag in sector 1. Didn't see which one that was. It might have been Labib. I think Ryan Newton is working on potentially an overtake here. He's very close there on Nicholas Arrow, trying to make an overtake. He's on the medium tires, the fresher medium tires, obviously, since he went into the pits after that incident with Cal Blevins. This is going on the battery. We could look at the difference in speeds. Nicholas Arrow versus Ryan Newton, 4P15 there. Ryan Newton's got the better top speed, obviously not in position to go for that overtake. We'll see in the main straight, will they be able to keep the fight there? And who was this with a 5-second penalty that was just given in the pits? And we got a yellow flag in sector 3. Oh, is that Bubla? Michael Bubla looks like he's retired. Yeah, Michael Bubla is retired in the pits with a 5-second penalty. I wonder what happened there. Well, not what you'd expect. He looked really in a position to have a strong race, and that was not the case. Oh my goodness! Nicholas Arrow! Whoa! Safety car, absolutely, and called the ambulance. Nicholas Arrow could see his spirit ascending to the heavens. That is instant death. Fatality. Well, into the pits, Quinn and Kate. Well, everybody. Well, it's not very complicated. Into the pits, everybody goes really. And wow. Well, once again, 2 new drivers for this season. Michael Bubla. It's what looked to be like a rage quit. And Nick Arrow, who just ended his life in Albert Park. Well, I guess that's a pretty place to do so. But that was a hard, complete loss of the rears. And that sent him straight into the wall. No chance to keep on racing after that one. A lot of drivers here are going on the hards. Lap 10 out of 29. 19 laps might be a little bit long to go on the mediums. And so drivers want to make the hards last as long as possible. Could be the reason why. However, has anybody not pitted at this point? Breton has pitted for mediums, so has Labib, and both Mercedes drivers. However, Simon Cosson, my goodness, Simon Cosson is still on the old mediums. He has not pitted. Neither has Abdullahi. So I'm assuming he might have to do so soon. At least the pack will be bunched up. And Blevins is also in the back. Well, I mean, if that's one thing maybe that this one driver really wanted is Marcel Pabst. After not a very strong beginning to the race, he finds himself... He finds himself there with the pack. So, I mean, he's gone the fresher. He just pitted not so long ago. This is not fresh laps from the safety car. It's not fresh tires from the safety car. Let's just see. He's done 1 laps in. Yeah, he's going to go back into the pits. I think he's got a second set of mediums, and he's going to go grab them. Oh, my goodness. Marcel Pabst with a 5-second penalty. It's amateur hour over here. Well, that's going to be a very, very difficult race. And Marcel Pabst went on the softs. I'm wondering if his intention is to go back on the mediums if he wants the second set of mediums. That would allow him to serve the 5-second time penalty. So it might not be too bad of a situation. However, he's so far behind the grid. We'll see how that goes. So everybody's on the hards. Most people on the hards, except for, you can see that little pack there, on the mediums. Drivers have gained the most positions, as I've said. Cam Bourne having started P18 and is now looking into P6. And he's in a very good situation here where his tires are basically equal to everybody else, so he's out there to race. He'll be able to fight possibly for a podium position. He's got incredible pace to have already gained 12 positions, and we're only on lap 11. Oh, and safety car is in this lap, and that is not what Marcel Pabst was hoping to have, as some drivers nearly collided. It looked like it was a very late call for the safety car. Let's get on board with Chad Swindell. How is he going to follow? And away Quinn and Kate goes. We're back into racing, and look at Nathan Doan trying to potentially take advantage of the situation, but he's going to take it easy going to turn 1. Action-packed racing so far. 12 laps into this race. Safety car just ended. Michael Bubla, Nicholas Arrow, 2 drivers from DNF for different reasons. This race has been the story of Quinton K and Chad Swindell, who've been fighting for the lead. Strong race pace from them both. Nathan Doan also fighting for a podium position, but he's going to have a lot of defending to do. I don't know how long he'll be able to stick within the DRS of the two drivers in front of him. That'll be a tall order for him. So he might have to just focus on racing his own race and try to get that podium. Might leave him open, vulnerable to overtaking for potentially Jordan Kwan, maybe even Cube and Cam Bourne. Beautiful camera shots from the overhead, from the main straight here. Again, it's clear weather, so there's no potential rain incoming for this race either. And while Nicholas Iro crashes out while he was having a solid race for McLaren, well, suddenly it's only Castleman that's there, and a little bit of a bump on the inside. Ryan Newton trying to go for the overtake on Beaulieu, and he successfully made it happen. A small tap, but there was a gap there, and he took it. That's P8 for Ryan Newton, who was serving a quali ban, had an incident, got himself back into the pits to repair his front wing, and is battling still for more points. And is he making a move on Major Castleman? Yes, he makes it happen, and that's P7 Ryan Newton in the Mercedes, and suddenly he's trailing Cam Bourne from just about half a second there and closing the gap. So I'll say, apart from P1, P2, well, actually Quinton K. Obviously DRS has not been activated yet. It will happen now. Quinton K has broken that DRS just about to Chad Swindell. Does that open the opportunity for maybe Nathan Doan to try to make a move happen, or to at least help him defend to keep his P3? Oh, very rapidly, Sweeney G. Swindell gains 3/10, and he's back into the DRS of Quinton K. I'm wondering what was the story with that one there. Oh, Doan's also in the DRS as well. Quick look on the battery wear so far. Well, look at this. Beaulieu is gonna do the overtake on Castleman. Castleman's gonna lose multiple positions. He had 3 drivers just get right in front of him. He was P8 just a couple seconds ago. And moves at the Alpine of Breton. He's going to try for the move as well on the inside. Maybe on Duncan McCamick. And backs out of that move. Look at how close everybody's driving. My goodness. And Marcel Paps, he's climbed back up in P9. However, he still has a 5-second time penalty to serve. That will be added to his time. Is he going for P8? He looked at it a little bit, but he's not going to go for it either. And there it is. That is the move on the outside with the DRS. Pabst on Beaulieu for P8. Beaulieu is now P9. And that whole group, P8 all the way down basically to Simon Colston, is absolutely battling it out. Maybe Beaulieu and Pabst are pulling away from that group. Meanwhile, up front, Sweeney G, he's going to make the overtake for the lead of the race. Again, switching positions regularly with Quinton K. However, Nathan Doan has lost DRS. Now he is completely vulnerable. Look at the drivers behind him with the DRS. He's going to try his best to defend, and that's going to be a tall order for the young man and the Ferrari. But a lot of hopes rest on his shoulders because Marcel Paps, with the incidents and the situation he's in right now, he's not bringing in home a lot of points for Ferrari. We're going to hope Nathan Doan can do his part. It's basically a reverse role between Marcel Paps and Nathan Doan tonight. And it looks like Nathan Doan's got quite a decent amount of top speed. He's making it happen. Cam Bourne's now in P5. And there's penalties being given. 2 more penalties were given to other drivers. So Jordan Kwan is the latest driver to have a 3-second time penalty due to track limits. And Cam Bourne, well, he's all over that Aston Martin. He's going to want to make that move happen. Cam Bourne is on the mission. He's going to make the overtake work before even the DRS zone, or almost. The Aston Martin driver does have DRS, and where are we going to go potentially 3 wide? Look at Ryan Newton being all sorts of aggressive in the back. And no overtake is going to be completed. Oh, maybe now it is going to happen. Looks like Cam Bourne is making it on the outside there of the Aston Martin. And that looks like a done deal. Very difficult for Jordan Kwan to follow on that one. And Ryan Newton is trying to take advantage of the situation as well. Solid performance, solid racing all around. Cam Bourne in the Alpine. And is there another overtake being made by Ryan Newton? It looks like it is, and there it is. P5 for Ryan Newton, who himself has started P17. So the drivers who started in the back this race with the safety car that was well timed for them allowed them to really get back in there with these drivers, and a lot of shuffling in the back as well. Again, P8 going all the way down. Well, Paps, Beaulieu, and Blevins are all battling it out on the track, as is Castleman as well. Suddenly we're finding Labib and Breton fighting side by side, and Labib's now in P13. Simon Costin. Well, Simon Costin's got damage on his wing once again from what I'm seeing, actually. So another incident happened there. Yeah, I saw a little bit of shuffling and something did happen in the back. I'm wondering if that involves another driver. And Freddie Rizal, well, I think he spun out completely, or he had to go back into the pits. That is a nightmare of a race for Freddie. And oh, well, I should have expected that. Should have expected that at that point. Going across the track, shockingly doesn't get a penalty. It looks like Freddie Rizal's kind of done with it. So I would assume he's driving back into the pits to call it quits. Back up front, still battling. This is absolutely wild race. There's actual battles everywhere you're looking at. Everyone's really in a close train. From P1 down to Magnussen to P7. And Beaulieu seems to have kind of lost that group now. So now Beaulieu is really holding up. 3 drivers behind him who are trying to overtake him as much as possible. And Nathan Doan, I don't know if that was the defense or I think it happened. He's got DRS too, so I think he overtook Ryan Newton now. Or I should say Cam Bourne. You had Cam Bourne there with no DRS, so Cam Bourne lost probably 2 positions. As a DRS train with those 3 drivers who are just trying to get the DRS off of each other and recharge their battery as well, because battery is not very... it's not something that's easy to recharge here in Australia. You kind of use it a lot. Good luck at the general state of the battery. From the other drivers. And once again, is Newton going to do the move on Doan? It looks like he is. So lap after lap, that's what you're going to be doing mainly. Simon Costin with a 3-second time penalty on his end. Ten laps to go. And now we're looking at Ryan Newton in P3. Will he be in a position where he could break that gap, break the toe from Nathan Doan? He's about 1.3 seconds from Chad Swindell. And there you go. He starts pushing it a little bit too hard there, Ryan Newton, and that costs him a 3-second time penalty for track limits. Another bit of a switch around there you could see between Swindell and Quinton. Oh, Quinton looked like he went right across that corner. Probably got himself a warning. Oh, would you look at that? Freddie Rizal with the fastest lap. At least he's going to go get that point in P17. Or actually take it away from, I forget who had it beforehand. I believe it was Newton. Things seems to have settled a little bit. However, Magnuson Cube is trying to maybe get back into it on Jordan Kwan. Jordan Kwan with the 3-second time penalty, and if Cube wants to take advantage of it, he's maybe not too far from Ryan Newton as well, so you can maybe get 2 positions, maybe for potential top 5. But he's got to pick up the pace, definitely, if he wants to do so. In the back, Beaulieu still defending from drivers behind him. I haven't seen Paps be able to make an overtake. Obviously, for Paps, the situation is going to be the tires. Let me show you his tires currently on the soft tires, and he's got a 5-second time penalty that he has to also serve, or that will be added up to his time. So I'm not sure those soft tires are going to bring him till the end, or if they do, well, hopefully he could survive it, because that's going to be a tough situation for him. Breton with his second time penalty there of the evening, 6 seconds total. Castleman currently in P11, one of the only drivers in that bunch without any penalties. Again, Cal Blevins, it might be a 3-second more than a 6. He seemed to have gotten that all in that one corner. And we'll see if he'll allow Stewards to remove it. Well, I guess not, because he's now at 9 seconds of penalty in total here. And still no overtake from those 4 drivers so far, but up ahead, Cam Bourne did just overtake Nathan Doan. And what are we observing here? Well, I was mentioning this earlier, Ryan Newton, oh, had a little bit of an oversteer there. His tires are going to be screaming at him for the end of the race. However, he is up there and battling for a top position despite his time penalty. He's now 2/10 away from Quinton K. So instead of just having Swindell and Quinton K doing the switches for the lead, well, maybe Ryan Newton is going to want to be part of that conversation. breaking the DRS from Cam Bourne and the group behind. So Cam Bourne's gonna have a lot of work to do if he wants to find himself in a podium position. He's absolutely gonna have to stick within 3 seconds. Is that something that'll be easy to do? I'm going to doubt that, because the top 3 drivers with the DRS could potentially pull away, while Cam Bourne is gonna have to defend from Nathan Doan and potentially Magnussen too. The overtaking being done in the back. And this is where I believe the hard tires are going to be a little bit more performant and easier to handle than tires like the mediums or the softs. Obviously, drivers that are on the softs, well, I mean, we could go look at Marcel Paps once again. We're approaching the 70% margin on the tire wear on the left rear tire. Yeah, really good job from him. Sticking in P9, maybe hopefully he could get a couple more points, but that's going to be a bit difficult for him to do so. Nathan Doan just got by Cam Bourne. Them two have been switching positions around rather regularly on the Lakeside Drive DRS straight, and there's a virtual safety car. What's happened there in the back? Is that Freddy Rizal again? He's or maybe Labib. I'm wondering what happened and with who. Well, it's not Rizal, although he was getting close to being lapped at some point. Somebody's missing a wing somewhere, most definitely. And Paps is going to take advantage of this situation. Oh my god. No, he's not. No, he's not. He's not taking advantage of anything. He gets himself another 5-second time penalty in the pits. So that is his second one. So if you wanted to serve one and not have a time penalty, well, he's just served one and got another time penalty. This is his worn soft tires from qualifying. So, yeah, nightmare of a race for Marcel Paps, finding himself P14, still with that 5-second penalty he's going to have to deal with. There is Labib. Oh, Labib was the one with no wing, so there's a culprit. He's the one that triggered the safety car. So he's got to change the wing back onto soft tires. A little bit of a struggle there for the Haas team principal. His closest challenge is basically Freddy Rizal, essentially. He's at least going to, seemingly he's going to finish the race, at least get some points there as much as he can. And another penalty for Marcel Paps. Well, that is, well, that's done for Marcel Paps. If he had hopes of climbing back into this race, that is absolutely out of question. With 4 laps to go, lap 26 of 29, and this is where it's going to get a little bit intense, because drivers are maybe going to start thinking about making their overtaking move, charging that battery up as much as possible. Will Nathan Doan make the move on Cam Bourne, or will he wait until the end of the race? And the same thing could be asked about Ryan Newton and Quentin Kay. I mean, Ryan Newton's got the 3-second time penalty. You never know what could happen in front of you. And behind, you also have Cam Bourne that's at 2.5 seconds behind Ryan Newton. So as it stands, Bourne is in a podium position. And I believe Nathan Doan would get P4, but it gets a little bit close there. It changes and it jumps around a little bit. Gets a little look on the inside line there, Ryan Newton. Maybe just to stress out Quentin Kay a little bit. Take a look on the battery wear. Cam Bourne's been using a lot more battery, and Quentin Kay, well, he's been charging the battery all the way to the max. So if there's somebody that's just been waiting for the opportunity to just try to run away with it, it is going to be this man right there. When you can see when drivers use their battery into his wing, and Quentin is not using any. He may be setting himself up for a second win in a row. And putting himself in a situation where he'll take a serious option for the championship. I don't know if it'll be enough for the lead, but most potentially because Paps doesn't seem to have it. And I don't want to pull the standings up because anything could happen at any moment between these drivers. Sideline, he's gonna go for it. Ryan Newton makes a clean overtake on Quentin K. And he's on the battery as well on Chad Swindell. He's gonna take the opportunity of the slipstream. He's got the more worn tires on the mediums. Doesn't go for P1. He's gonna wait for the next opportunity. His objective is to get as far away as from drivers as Nathan Doan and Cam Bourne that have actually closing the gap to this three-way battle there. And Newton is not going on the battery actually. Not yet. And there he goes. Well, the move's going to be made for the lead. And a new race leader there with Ryan Newton. Ahead of Swindell, ahead of Quentin K, 2 seconds behind. It's Doan, Bourne, and Cube battling for position. And there you have it. It's lap 28 of 29. The top three are completely dumping their batteries. Oh my goodness, this is going to be a close one, maybe between Swindell and Ryan Newton. And Quentin K is going to go for a better exit there. Much patient game there. Great move. And he's setting himself up for the inside line on Chad Swindell. Side by side they go. A better exit though on the Williams. And that is some time, precious time lost to Ryan Newton in the lead currently. Quentin K almost had it made, and he dumped a lot of battery for this. And now it's Cam Bourne that's in P4. He might open the door up for Nathan Doan. Although Doan has got the advantage. Yeah, Doan absolutely has a battery advantage. If he wants to make some moves happen, he might wait for the Lakeside Drive DRS zone to make it happen. Jordan Kwan also caught up to that pack. He might be making a move on Magnus and Cube there for P6. 7 and 8 there for the Aston Martins. And what is going on here? Well, Newton's still up front. He's absolutely wasted all his battery. And Chad Swindell is going to pull against it on the outside. Will he go for maybe a bit of a switchback? Doesn't make it happen, and Quentin K does not get the better exit like he did last time. And Ryan Newton's basically a sitting duck there. He's trying everything through the fenders. A bit of contact between him and Sweeney. And wow, well now it's Quentin K that gets P2. I'm wondering what will be said about that. It looked like a very slight contact, but wasn't necessary. And in the end, lap 29, and this race is already finished basically. Ryan Newton, well, on the track, he's going to come in P1. However, his time penalty will make him drop 4 positions down to P5 because Nathan Doan and Cam Bourne have done such good job at catching up to everybody. Your official race winner is going to be Quentin K with Chad Swindell right behind him. Doan gets a podium position. Nathan Doan, the youngster in the Ferrari, gets a podium. Cam Bourne in P4, solid performance for him. P5 officially for Newton, that is definitely a solid position for him as well. Look at his tire wear, 70% on the rears. Cube, Jordan Kwan, Maxime Beaulieu, Castleman, Blevins is your top 10. Followed by Pabst, Breton, Carlston, Abdullahi, McCamick, and Labib and Roselle, who have yet to cross the line, who are just about to do so. Labib is about to do so, actually. And eventually Roselle will as well. Bit of a difficult race there for Freddie Roselle. Went from almost winning in Jeddah to almost not completing a race in Australia. Giving us the weave and crash, classic Freddie. Well, we've had ourselves a race, most definitely. All right, let's get ourselves set up in the waiting rooms for our interviews. Well, let's not waste any time. We already have our youngster, Nathan Doan. We're going to bring him right in here. P3 for you, despite with the penalties given to Ryan Newton on for track limits. Nathan Doan, that is a podium finish here in Division 1. I've got two questions for you. The first one is, how did you feel about your race? How did you feel about your performance tonight?
Well, I mean, I think it went pretty much as perfectly as it could with the strategy, and then it was just about like trading DRS with all these drivers. You know, there was Camborne, there's Mizzy for a while, and Jaquan, all those people. I just had to time it right so I could get past Cam on the last lap and get my podium. But man, I'm super happy. First podium of my D1 career, and hopefully not my last.
Well, that's exactly what I was going to say. I mean, I was looking into the standings as we were talking there, and it is indeed your first podium. A great performance on your part. Between last season, where you were maybe on the bottom 5 and battling for just the scrap points, basically, to now where you're getting podium positions and, well, in some situations, you even surpass your team principal, Marcel Paps. What happened?
Well, just turned off ABS, you know? Decided to not be too scared of locking the brakes anymore, and I've gained so much pace from that alone. And then, you know, next season, gonna try taking offline, hopefully even faster, getting wins, and yeah. And, you know, Marcel, I did outperform him today, but of course he saw the crash at the start, so unlucky for him, but yeah.
Yeah, unlucky for him,
Right.
and unlucky for the time penalties, the frequent time penalties he went and grabbed on his end. Congratulations for that third position, Nathan. That was absolutely great race on your part.
Yeah, thank you. Just happy to be in the booth with you once again, except it's on my night.
Yeah, absolutely. We're trading it nightly over there for D2 and D1.
Yep. All right. Thanks for the
Take care,
broadcast. Have a
Nathan.
good night, man.
Thank you. Oh, we don't have our two other drivers. Let me ping them real quick. All right, let's bring our P2 finisher there.
Or you should have just not passed us both. Oh, what's up?
What's up? Deep in conversation with
Sorry.
Quentin already. I'm sure you guys are talking potentially about Ryan Newton, who maybe stuck out his elbows a little bit there at the end of the race. Keeping it PG-13 and pretty. Talk to us about this race and exactly that incident maybe in the at the end of this race.
Yeah, so I think we were pretty fortunate off the start, me and Quentin at least, with whatever accidents and whatever stuff was going on. I don't know what was happening, but It looked like Mizzy is his name. I don't actually know who that is, but it looked like he was gonna be a tough fight as well. So we were pretty much just DRS training the whole time, and honestly, I thought it was just gonna come down to like who had the DRS last, and then Ryan caught up, and I didn't see that coming, but I think he was so aggressive just to try to get outside of the 3-second range, which I don't think was really feasible in the first place. I mean, he would have had to gain another like 6 or 7 tenths past what we did. But it's understandable. It was a good race. I had a lot of fun.
Absolutely. Looked like most of the race was really just you versus Quinnen trading positions for the lead practically every lap, feeding off of each other's DRS and just getting that gap between you two and P3 basically. Obviously things changed at the end of the race. There was a safety car as well, and the virtual safety cars this race too. Did any of these affect your strategy or make you do things a little bit differently at any time this race?
I kind of came in with the thought that there might be a safety car. Last week in Saudi Arabia, I started on hards, and as we know, there was a ton of safety cars, and that really like ended up screwing me over. I pretty much had worse tires the entire race. So this time I kind of went in with the mindset like there's going to be a safety car. I'm going to start on softs, and then whenever it happens, I'll either switch to mediums or hards, and it ended up playing out perfect.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations again for that P2 finish there, Chad. And we'll see you next week.
Thank you.
Thank you. And our P1 finisher, somebody we're going to bring in once again, and that is the second win in a row. Mr. Quinn.
Yes, sir.
Great performance there in Jeddah last weekend. Solid performance this week as well in Australia. And you're back into this fight as strong as ever, basically, for the lead of the championship. I don't know if you officially take it, but you're pretty dang close, that's for sure. Walk us through this race.
I was quite surprised at the start of how many people were starting on the mediums, with because me and Chad started on the softs and we just gapped absolutely everybody. But that last couple of laps with Ryan and Swinney were pretty tight. So, and with Ryan with that 3-second, luckily I could take the win, make it 3 in a row with the sprint as well.
Yeah, absolutely, winning the sprint and the random race weekend in Jeddah as well. Talk to us a little bit with the Ryan situation. Obviously, Chad Swindell was not the happiest of the situation. Didn't think Ryan Newton had really the opportunity to break away from that 3-second gap he was trying to leave, basically, create at the end of the race. What's your opinion on that whole incident?
That incident on the last lap?
Yep.
Well, from Swinney, I probably would have done the exact same thing, just to attack, to defend, basically. And he got kind of unlucky, and he tagged Ryan, and then he had a little bit of moment, and then I swung up his inside, the good switch back, and we won the race because of Ryan's 3-second penalty. Hopefully it's not like double warnings or something like that, but hopefully we'll keep the win.
Yeah, it's that's something that might be dealt with later. I do believe I saw a penalty that was double, maybe even a triple warning, honestly, on another driver tonight. So it's potential, but it kind of looked legit on Ryan Newton's part. We're down to the last stretch of this season, the last stretch of F1 23 altogether. 4 races left. I want to ask what your objective is. Obviously, I know it's for the championship. But what is your view on the next races on the calendar? And is this something you're optimistic for, or are you thinking maybe you have to put some work there and time trial for to get maybe the best pace out of those tracks?
I think what is it? Texas next? And
Yeah,
then
Texas
China?
next with a full qualifying. We've got Abu Dhabi, China, and then the season ender is in Silverstone, also with a full qualifying.
Yeah. Unfortunately, those tracks aren't like the best for me, but Silverstone will probably the most comfortable out of the last four. But Texas will be interesting, especially with the marbles on the track. It's kind of hard to overtake. But China, Ryan is super fast there, so I won't be surprised if he steals a win there. But hopefully I can stay in it and win the championship. That's my goal. So yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Well, thank you for your time, Quinton, and hopefully we'll see you again in the broadcast next week.
All right. Thank you, Big Chungus.
Thanks. An absolutely spectacular race we had here in Australia in Division 1. Tomorrow night is going to be our Division 3 drivers, 8 p.m. Eastern, who will take on the Australian Challenge there. As we saw a lot of overtaking under DRS, a lot of last lap overtakes, as we often see here in the F1 23 game with the slipstream and whatnot. Next week, it's going to be a lot of that too. In Texas, it's going to be a full qualifying session in Circuit of the Americas. It's going to be quite an interesting race, and it's a track that is very heavily favored, I would say, by drivers. I think we've done it on every single one of our seasons this year. I'll say this F123 session for the game. So a lot of races happened out here, a lot of events. And this time it'll be with a full qualifying. Usually we do sprint races in COTA. This time full qualifying, so we'll see how that happens, how that works out this next weekend. Do not hesitate to be there next week at Australia for our Division 3. I bid you all good night, and we'll see you guys soon. See ya.